Alright, how we doing, folks? Your boy Marcos 2205, the number after the name. A little NBA 2K17 action, man. Me and my boy Fabio over here playing. Came over the other day. We played a bunch of 2K. We had a pretty damn good time about it, not gonna lie. Playing over here as the Rockets. He's playing as the Kings. Rockets are my team. Kings are just a team that one of our friends used to like. We kind of joked about it. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play that for him. I'm like, oh, man, you do that, man. I really wanted to talk a little bit of basketball, man, on the channel. I don't really talk too much sports necessarily on the channel, but I want to talk a little bit about the NBA season over here. We're about like a month or so in it, so I wanted to give you guys some early impressions over here. Let's start with the Rockets that are on the screen, man. They're my team, man. They're playing well relatively. You know, it's a little bit difficult for me to say that they're playing well because I feel like I kind of know what's going to happen here. I don't really buy all like the crazy points and total, all these like triple doubles that James Harden been getting. I feel like they're overinflated numbers. I felt like, for example, with the Phoenix Suns, a lot of those numbers that they were putting up back in the day with Mike D'Antoni were inflated numbers. They're numbers, they exist. He's definitely doing it. There's no knock about it. He's getting the triple doubles. That's not like that's not happening. But it's overinflated, right? The pace of the game is just sped up so far up that like you're gonna get numbers. As long as you pass the ball X amount of times, you're gonna get assists. So I feel like they're a little bit empty numbers. It doesn't take away from James Harden's greatness in any fact. Like, he's amazing. But the lack of defense has got to come to bite him. They'll probably have a good record in the regular season. I'm not really going to deny that. They'll probably be pretty dope in the regular season. They might even get a top 4 out in the West, maybe not, but they'll definitely be in the playoffs, and they'll definitely get bounced in the first round, too. There's no real depth to the team. I can't promise and I can't believe that Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon are going to be alive for the whole year. If they were, then, I'd almost be a little bit empathetic to say that we got a pretty decent chance, but they always get hurt, so I don't really see what would be any different in Houston, especially since they're playing a lot of minutes there because there just aren't any other people to even play the minutes, you know what I'm saying? But it's fun. It's definitely fun to watch the Rockets play. I like James Harden's game a lot. I know a lot of people don't like it. I know they don't like him getting to the line. I don't like the Euro step. I know that they don't really just like his attitude, whatever. My only issue with James Harden is on the defensive side. Offensively, to me, he could do whatever he wants. I also feel like this whole thing where like he's the point guard this year, it's kind of a bunch of like just nonsense. He's always been the point guard on the team. He may not have been, the point guard by name or the de facto point guard, but he's always been the point guard by the team. We always knew who the point guard was on the Rockets. He was the guy who set up the plays. He's the guy who had the ball the whole time. It's the reason why Dwight isn't there, because Dwight was upset that he wasn't getting the ball over there. And speaking of Mitch, man, let's move over to Dwight, man, and the Hawks, man. I took Dwight in my fantasy draft, very confident. To me, it was very easy. I was like, this is cake, man, because Dwight, and it's interesting though because Dwight isn't necessarily a Budenholzer kind of guy, right? He isn't the kind of guy that fit in that system, They play pace and space. They want guys like the Spurs, that can spread the floor and do a couple other things. But I think Dwight is finally in a place where he's happy. This is kind of a place where he just kind of went to. He has zero expectations on him again. Pretty much everything he does will be good. There's really nothing too bad he can do, unless I guess he just keeps elbowing people and getting kicked out of games. He's gonna get boards. He's getting boards. He's getting a ton of boards. He's gonna get burned as long as he stays healthy. That's my only kind of little caution with him is maybe he'll be hurt. He's kind of been a little bit injury prone over here, but he really wanted to be out of Houston. It didn't fit. It didn't click. He was relatively forced into Houston, not necessarily that someone told him yo, you got to go to Houston, but he had to make a choice, and he decided to take that choice, and he decided that would be the best choice for his life. And I think he realized pretty early on that, hey, this isn't really that great of a place over here. I think they wanted to develop him also into something he wasn't, and I think he wanted to too, be like a Hakeem Olajuwon kind of guy. And he even talked about it this offseason with Atlanta, how he wanted to work on a jumper, and he wanted to pop threes, and let loose, have the green light. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? That is not what anyone needs from you. And that's not really what he's doing at all. He's actually just dropping buckets. He's playing down in the post. He's running the screen and roll with Schroeder. and he's getting boards and he's playing defense. I mean, he's killing it, man. Dwight Howard's killing it, and I think a lot of it's more mental than physical than anything else. So that basketball like adjustment wise. Now let's see if he can keep it up the whole year. Missed the game already with a calf injury, I think earlier this week or earlier last week, pardon me. So we'll see what happens over there. It's still a work in progress and it's still Dwight Howard, but I fully expect him to have a really good year this year. And I got them both on fantasy teams, so or I got them at least in one of my fantasy teams. So I'm definitely excited for that over there, man. Some surprises so far this season, man. I haven't really spoken about it on the channel at all, but Joel Embiid, man, like this dude's the real deal, man. Like I don't know if anybody had any doubts or skepticism, as in like all of us had skepticism because we never actually saw this guy play. I watched him a little bit when he was at Kansas, right? And I watched him and Wiggins, and I understood. Like I looked at the body and I said, okay, this works. Like this is an NBA body. But what I didn't know was the three-point shooting, and I think that's because it didn't exist back then. He could always shoot a little bit, but not from that range and not with that consistency. I'll tell you my impressions of him, man. I just tell my boy Josh the other day, man. It's really remarkable. And I called the captain when it happened too, because I was like, this is crazy. So the first game of the year, he goes and he pulls up. I think for the first play of the season, he goes and he pulls up from three. He's playing again. I don't know if he was playing against Dwight that game. I don't remember who he was. He's playing against some center though, and he takes the three, and he misses it. But immediately I was like, oh, this guy could pull up for three. I was like, is this guy just like being a jackass, like he thinks it's an all-star game or something? And then he gets the ball back a couple minutes later, pulls up for three, swish, smooth stroke, just nasty. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's a three-pointer though that he just hit. I was like, I didn't know he had that. Okay. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I was like, that could open up a lot of possibilities. Indeed, that's what it did. So later on in the game, he's on a minutes restriction, 20-something, low 20 minutes, 24 minutes maybe. Mr. That's for Okafor. He might be on the same one. So he goes and he fakes the three, right? He gives a little pump kind of to the three. The defender comes at him because he already respects him, and then he blows right by him, man. At like 7'2", 250 or something like that. Just sprints right by him. And I was like, this guy, this is unguardable. He's got a lot of alpha dog in him, like, and in a league where there aren't too many alpha dogs left, like old school alpha dogs, like Westbrook's kind of an old school alpha dog, I got my team, I'm getting my buckets, that's it. Joel Embiid can kind of be there, and I'm very interested to see how that develops, right? Like he doesn't care about anybody, he has no respect for anybody, he's going at everybody, he's excited to go at everybody. I really haven't seen a player that excited to play basketball, and I think part of the reason that the game was taken away from him for so long, and he was just put on the shelf for so long, and he was the process, everything, all these expectations on him. He's just playing the game freely. He's happy to be playing. He's playing with so much excitement. He doesn't even care, like, he wants to win, but he doesn't even care, like, the fact that they're losing or not. He's just happy to be out there, happy to be playing ball, and it's really refreshing to see that, You see a lot of guys, it's not that other people don't try harder, but this guy tries harder with a smile on his face, and I'm really excited to see how he develops, and I'm really excited to see where the 76ers go from here, man, because they got, with him and Simmons, they got some serious building blocks, man. Your boy Marcos, deuces.